She dialed 911 and shouted, "He's trespassing on HOA land," while I stood at the rusted iron gate, the deed folded tight in my hand. A cold autumn breeze rolled off the lake behind me, wide and still. My lake. But the woman in the purple dress didn't care. Her name was Karen, and she moved like the world existed only for her approval. Behind her stood three men dressed to look like officers, hands resting on their belts, posturing like law enforcement. Their vehicle even had HOA stenciled on the side, as if that made it legitimate. "Ma'am," I said evenly, forcing calm into my voice, "you're standing on federal waterway property. This lake hasn't belonged to any HOA for over 20 years. She laughed, flipping her hair dismissively. "Don't insult me with nonsense. This lake is community property. You don't just buy something like this. Who do you think you are?" I met her stare without blinking. "The owner." For half a second, her expression locked up. Then she snapped her fingers at the fake officers. "Arrest him. We'll figure it out later." They stepped forward hesitantly, uncertainty flickering behind their tough act. I didn't budge. My blood was boiling, but I stayed still. They had no idea how deep they were already in. As they closed the distance, I lifted the orange folder in my hand. "Before you put a hand on me," I said calmly, "you might want to read what's in here." Karen yanked the folder from me and flipped through it like she had the authority to do so. The men leaned in until she reached the final page. A federal permit seal, issued by the Department of the Interior. Her eyes widened. "What is this?" she demanded. "That," I replied, allowing a faint smile. "The moment this goes very badly for you. You just tried to enforce HOA authority on federally protected land." One of the fake officers shifted nervously. "Ma'am, maybe we should stop," she snapped at him. "We're still calling 911. I chuckled and pulled out my phone. "Perfect. Let's do it together. I'd rather let real authorities handle this." The wind whistled through the trees, the mountain air sharp and cold. For the first time, Karen looked unsure. She had no idea what she'd just walked into, because this wasn't ordinary property, and I wasn't just some guy who bought an old lakeside cabin. I had a connection she couldn't possibly anticipate. As the wail of sirens echoed in the distance, Karen straightened like a victorious general. "You're finished," she said smugly. "Real police are coming. You'll be in cuffs for trespassing." I leaned casually against the gate. "You might want to stop talking." Her smirk grew. "I've lived here 20 years. I know everyone. The sheriff's a personal friend." I said nothing as the cruiser rolled up. A real one. Two deputies stepped out, expressions sharp and professional. The fake HOA officers immediately backed away, suddenly fascinated by the dirt. Karen rushed forward, waving her arms. "Officer, arrest him. He's trying to steal our community lake." The older deputy raised an eyebrow. "Ma'am, calm down. Who's our?" She pointed at me. "Him. He's blocking HOA members from lake access." The deputy turned to me. "Sir," slowly handed him the same folder Karen had thrown aside earlier. "No, officer. I'm preventing illegal use of federally managed waterway property." The younger deputy flipped through the pages and let out a low whistle. "She's wrong. This is federal. Signed last month," Karen stammered. That can't be right. "We've used this lake forever." The deputy sighed. "Doesn't matter. Federal land overrides HOA rules." I folded my arms. Silence settled like a weight. One fake officer edged toward their vehicle, but the younger deputy caught it. "Hold on. What department are you with?" They froze. One muttered something about private security. His badge glinted in the sun. "Plastic." The deputy's tone hardened instantly. "Those are counterfeit. Step away." Karen's face went pale. "No, wait, they're authorized." "Authorized by who?" I asked quietly. "The HOA board," she said, panic creeping in. The deputy shook his head. "Impersonating an officer is a felony." The scene flipped instantly. The impostors were separated, badges confiscated. The calm lake shimmered behind Karen as her confidence collapsed. She paced, whispering frantically into her phone. The older deputy turned to me. "You said you recently bought this property?" "Yes," I said. "Acquired through a federal land recovery program after flood abandonment." Karen spun around. "Impossible. Our HOA Recreation Trust owns this lake. There's no record of that, the deputy replied. She glared at me. You think you can erase our history? I stepped forward. Then maybe you should have checked who owned the water before building on it. Her lips trembled. Our president has the documents. Mr. Harland. That name made me smile slightly. The same man collecting maintenance fees on land he never owned? I showed her the maps, codes, emails. Her breath hitched. Where did you get those? I work with Federal Waterway Restoration, said evenly. This land is under my oversight. The deputy's radio crackled. Federal agent verified. Karen's world collapsed. The fake officers were in cuffs. I stepped closer. You called 911 to have me arrested. But now you're trespassing on federal land. She tried to speak. Save it. I cut in calmly. You'll need it for your lawyer. The younger deputy leaned close and murmured, do you want to press charges? I glanced over the calm, deep blue lake behind Karen. Not yet, I said. I want the HOA president here first. Everyone involved. Her eyes went wide. You wouldn't dare. Oh, I would, I replied quietly. Because this isn't about a lake anymore. It's about fraud, deception, and people abusing power they never had. I'm done watching it happen. With that, I made the call that would unravel her entire HOA empire. The line connected immediately. Agent Lewis, Federal Waterway Division, I said, voice firm. Activate verification protocol for Lakeshire property. Impersonation, potential fraud, and unauthorized HOA enforcement on a restricted federal zone. Karen froze, the words sinking in. The real deputies exchanged looks. They understood this was no longer a simple property dispute. Within minutes, a black SUV rolled down the dirt road, government plates glinting in the sun. Karen stepped back instinctively. Who are they? She whispered. I folded my arms. The people who handle things when local power games cross federal boundaries. The SUV doors opened, and two agents stepped out, sharp and serious. Both wore dark jackets labeled Federal Waterway Enforcement. A tall woman with a calm, commanding presence walked toward me first. Agent Lewis, she nodded. We received your alert. Karen's jaw dropped. Wait, he's an agent? The woman turned toward her. Yes, ma'am. And you're standing in violation of Title 33, Section 9 of the U.S. Waterway Code. Attempting to enforce private law over federal property, Karen stammered. I didn't know. Our HOA president said, that's what they all say. The agent cut her off sharply. We've been monitoring your HOA for some time. Complaints, forged citations, fake enforcement squads. Now impersonating police officers. Her legs trembled. This is all a misunderstanding. I stepped closer, voice low but firm. You sent armed impostors to arrest me on my own land. You didn't ask questions, you assumed authority. You thought money and control made you untouchable. She shook her head frantically. No, please. I was told the HOA owns the lake. I didn't mean to break the law, the agent sighed. You should have verified before sending armed personnel onto federal property. That's not a minor mistake. The deputies began taking formal statements while the agents gathered evidence from the fake HOA vehicle. One agent uncovered folders labeled violation notices, all signed by Harlan. Karen's expression darkened. He told us it was all official, government approved, she whispered. I allowed myself a faint smile. You'll see how official it really is when the feds knock on his door. Tears glimmered in her eyes. Please, you can't let them take me. I didn't do anything. I looked at her calmly. You didn't do your homework, and you dragged innocent people into violating federal law. One agent turned to me quietly. We'll need a full report from your end. Headquarters has been waived. I nodded. You'll have everything tonight, including Harlan's offshore accounts and all the lake maintenance payments. Karen gasped. Offshore? What? Yes, I said evenly. He wasn't maintaining the lake, he was hiding a secret life. The agents exchanged approving glances. Good work, Lewis. This is bigger than we imagined. As they led Karen aside for questioning, the sunset reflected across the lake, bright, quiet, and free. But I knew this wasn't the end. If Harlan had faked HOA authority here, who knew how many other communities he controlled? Karen sat in the back of the patrol car, hands trembling as the agents interrogated her. The fake officers had already confessed. They were hired by the HOA board to intimidate anyone challenging their grip on the lake. It was over, but I wasn't satisfied yet. Once statements were complete, I asked one agent, "Can we visit Mr. Harland before sunset?" The tall female agent smirked. "You read my mind." We drove to the HOA office, a sleek building at the edge of the community, glass walls reflecting the evening sun. Inside, Harland was presenting to homeowners about new access fees. His confident smile faltered as we entered. "Agent Lewis," he said stiffly. "What a surprise. Federal involvement?" I stepped forward, holding a file. "Local? You collected over $200,000 in fake maintenance fees for a lake you didn't own." His jaw tightened. "Must be a misunderstanding." The agent placed a hand on the table. "No misunderstanding. We traced payments to offshore accounts in your name. You've been scamming your own residents." Gasps filled the room. Homeowners whispered, filming with their phones. Harland started sweating. "You can't prove," he began. "Oh, we can," interrupted. "And guess who's testifying? Karen." His eyes widened. "She wouldn't dare." I looked him square in the eye. "She already did." The agent handed Harland a warrant. Within moments, he was surrounded. The people who once feared him filmed his arrest, cheering as the cuffs clicked. Justice was loud, public, and long overdue. As he was led away, Karen's eyes met mine, guilt and shame etched into her face. "I'm sorry," she whispered. "I thought we were protecting the community." I nodded. "You can't protect what you don't respect." We returned to the lakeside cabin. The sun dipped low, casting golden light on the water. The fake HOA signs were gone, gates open. Peace. Finally. I placed a federal waterway protected zone marker near the dock and smiled. No one would steal this place again. Phone buzzed. A message from the agency. "Case closed. Excellent work, Agent Lewis." I looked at the calm lake, mountains beyond, and thought, some people think owning land gives power. Truth always owns them in the end. I turned off my phone, breathed in the crisp mountain air, and whispered, "Freedom isn't bought. It's protected." Then I locked the gate behind me.